Welcome to the Creative Obsession podcast. I'm Carrie, and I am coming to you from just outside of Portland, Oregon. Today is February 16th, 2018. This is episode 50, which feels like a milestone. And it's also my 2-year anniversary of doing the podcast. I just realized this morning that I started this podcast 2 years ago in February. So, woo! Happy anniversary to us. In the past I did, like last year I did a giveaway, and I am going to do a giveaway, but it's not going to be an immediate giveaway, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But welcome to everybody. Links to where you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry are going to be in the description box below this YouTube video. And there is a podcast group for the Creative Obsession on Ravelry. You can join that. I have done knit-alongs in the past. It's a place to ask questions. There's an Ask Me Anything thread in there. Just some general stuff. I don't do a ton of knit-alongs just because I'm not real active on Ravelry, and I feel to be... you have to be more present in the group to be effective as a knit-along. So I joined some knit-alongs along the way, but I haven't hosted a whole lot. It might change, but for now, nothing's going on. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about some quilting and what I've got going for the tutorial series that I want to film. I'll kind of show you where I'm at with that. I've got a little bit of knitting, a few things new in the shop, and then some personal stuff at the end. So it's liable to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but that's okay. It's late in the afternoon. It's like 3 o'clock, and it's getting pretty late. It just has been one of those days where it was like one thing after another, and it's like, okay, I'm getting tired. So I'm drinking my coffee. This is my David's tea mug that my friend Leslie gave me at Christmas. And these are color changing little sheep when the coffee's hot. And so I'm drinking coffee to stay awake. So pardon me for that. Okay, so in some previous episodes, I talked about wanting to do like a quilting tutorial series. Come up with a pattern for doing a table runner, just because that can just teach you some of the basic stuff. It's a doable size for quilting on your own sewing machine. And I've just been having a really hard time finding the time to sit down and work on it as much as I would like to. I'm really focusing on my Etsy shop where I sell my hand-dyed yarns and other things that I make to generally go along with knitting. So that is where my main focus is. But I've been able to, grab some moments and kind of try and work something out. So, I should get the picture. Millie's sitting in the window, and she can see when the kids come home from school, which is probably right about now, and so she's liable to growl and bark. So I'm going to get the piece of paper that shows the finished table runner, and I'll show that to you. Okay, this is the table runner design I came up with. I wanted to try and incorporate some different basic piecing pieces that are found in most quilts, or in a large amount of quilts. This is, like I said, this is going to be for people that are beginners, maybe have quilted a little bit, but it's not going to be for the advanced quilter, because you're going to know all this stuff. So I selected these colors because they are fabrics that I have in fat quarters. They were left over from making another quilt that I had made for my friend. And so I chose these colors, but you can use whatever colors you want. So you can see that it's just 4 blocks, and there's some sashing, and the sashing is the strips of fabric that are used between blocks. And so so I, show you how to do that, which is really, really easy. I mean, none of this is really hard, but it's just a matter of learning the little tricks that can go with it to make you be successful. So you'll learn how to do borders. You'll learn how to do binding. We're going to touch on some quilting. Like I said, I'm going to be quilting it on my long arm, but I think I can give you some ideas of some different designs to use for that. So I got some of the blocks made, and here it is. So here's the first one, and This is really easy. All it is what's called a half square triangle. So this unit here, this is a half square triangle. Half of the square is a triangle. So 2 triangles make up a square. Half square triangle, that's all this is all half square triangles. It's just a matter of your fabric and how you place it. To get a pinwheel, this gives it also an additional spin on the pinwheel by adding these out here. So that's the first block. This is the second block. This is a really good block too if you've got fabric that has a bigger motif in it. I did a quilt for my mom. I should grab that someday. My first quilt I made used a block like this, and in this square, I had photographs printed on fabric, and that's what I put in the square. So if you have some fabric that's got like a beautiful motif on it, flower, dragonfly, whatever it is, you can fussy cut it so that that's in the center. What you learn on here too is how to do flying geese. So flying geese is this. You've got the goose and you've got the sky. And so when you turn it and you put it here on top of a square, it makes star points. Flying geese are in a lot of quilts, and there are several different ways you can make them. And so I'm going to touch on 3 different ways, 3 different techniques of how to make these, and then you get a chance to try different techniques and figure out which one works best for you. Putting a little spin on that is this one. You've still got your half square triangles, which you made in the first block. This is your flying geese, but you alternate what color you're putting on either side, and it gives it a different spin on the star, makes the star actually look like it's kind of moving a little bit. Still the flying geese, it's just in different colors. And then the last block, which I haven't made yet, so that's where I got stopped at, was this one that I want to do. So you still have flying geese. You have what's considered a quarter square triangle. So this is actually a split quarter square triangle. So you've got your half square triangle, and then these 2 make up a quarter of it. So it's a little bit, just a little bit different, a little bit more complicated. And so, yeah, that by making those 4 blocks and learning the techniques of how to do it, you can pretty much make any quilt. So then once we put them all together with some sashing, put some borders around it, you've got a done deal. So this ends up being, what did it figure out to be, like 50 inches long or something like that? I don't remember now. So I'm still working on it. What I'd like to do is, because I'm going to make this just because I'm working out numbers and all that kind of stuff, and so I need to finish making it. And then I'm going to make it again because I need to make it and film myself making it so that I can do the tutorials. So I'm actually going to have 2 of them. So what I want to do, which I'm not going to do today, but I'm going to do in the future, is I'm going to do a giveaway to give away one of those table runners because I only need one. So I figured that could be my Potiversary giveaway. It's just not going to be today because I don't really have anything to give you today. And so we'll work out what the prompts are and all that kind of stuff, but I don't want to leave you hanging if I pick somebody right now and it's like something that's going to happen in another month. I don't know. I don't know how long. I think once I figured out all of my measurements and kind of how I'm gonna show it and all that kind of stuff, I think it'll go pretty quickly. I'm hoping so anyway. So anyway, that's quilting stuff that I've been working on, which was fun. And it was weird because I haven't worked on a quilt in quite a while. I haven't designed a quilt in quite a while. And so it was kind of hard to kind of pull back from the recesses of my brain, you know, those techniques and the math and all that kind of stuff. So it took a little bit to kind of warm that up. So, but it was fun once I got going. I wish I could just sit down and just do it, which I was kind of thinking that I was going to be able to do this past weekend, but then we ended up going on a hike. And so the pictures that you saw in the beginning, hopefully I've put them in the beginning. There is a, what do I want to call? I think it's like a Buddhist retreat area or something like that that's in my town that I had heard about a few years ago, and was one of those things where it was like, yeah, one of those days I'm going to see if I can find it and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody came into my kickboxing class and said, oh yeah, yesterday we went up to the Buddhist place, and I'm like, okay, where exactly is this? And so we found it, and it was pretty amazing, actually. It's an area that is like, they have like 120 acres in the woods up in the hills. And you just can go, it's gated off. So you just kind of get around the gate. They have some flyers at the gate that give you the trails and stuff like that. And you take all these little trails and you go to all these different shrines and places to meditate and places to pray. And they represent like every religion. There's Christian, there's Jewish, there's Native American, there's some Arabic and Hindu and all these places. And you just follow these trails and you go, I'm going to go see what's down this trail. And there's this beautiful, well thought out shrine. And one of my favorites, it blew me away. I mean, the thought that they put into this was really pretty amazing. Was the Native American one, because you walk up and you're at the back side of it, and I'm like, that looks like that's a bird or a crow or something like that, and you walk around and you get inside and it's like this giant, I'm thinking it's a crow, could be an eagle, and that is the shrine. And it's like if you sat there and there's a little bench where you can sit and meditate or do whatever, and you're just looking out into the forest with this crow bird thing like wrapping you up in it. It was just amazing. And it was real hard to get pictures because, you're in the forest, it's kind of dark. And so you just wander around. There's nobody you just do your own thing. There is a caretaker there, and there's a building that I could tell that he or she was in because there was smoke coming out of the chimney. But it was just so neat to just investigate it and see what was all up there. And so we plan on going up and just using the trails to just kind of, go up and go for a walk, so to speak. And we'd love to just walk in the forest if we can. Adjacent to that is some logging roads. And so we went back up another day and just took the logging roads, and those wind all over. It's very, very hilly. And so a lot of the roads, you kind of wind around up here, and then they all went downhill somewhere. So we want to go back and investigate when we can plan a day and go down, because, you got to come back up. So to go down and see where these go, as long as they're not logging back there. So on the weekend, there wasn't any logging, and we were able to kind of wander around, and it was just fun to just get out in the woods. When it's not cloudy, you can see Mount St. Helens and Mount Adams really well. And it was kind of cloudy over those mountains when we were there, so I couldn't get any decent pictures because you wouldn't have really seen anything. But yeah, it was really kind of a neat place, and it's just 10 minutes from here. So that's kind of neat. Okay, I'm going to move into the kind of the knitting portion, I guess. Last episode, I did a giveaway, and I wanted to give away my Wildesmeer shawl. And so I had put a prompt on the Ravelry group, and the prompt was, what makes you lose track of time? What is it that you do that you just all of a sudden the day's gone or whatever? And so I did random number generator this morning, and it picked number 9, which is Monica K. And so Monica K, get in touch with me and I will mail this out to you. Her thing that she loses track of time with is doing jigsaw puzzles. And I can understand that. I'm not a big, I don't want to say I don't do puzzles, but I'm not drawn to doing puzzles, but I know Jim is, and it can be like hours go by and it's like, are you going to come and eat or whatever? It's just one more piece or whatever. So I can totally understand the obsession that happens with doing jigsaw puzzles. So thank you for entering, and thank you for everybody that gave your answers, because I'd read them and go, oh yeah, I get lost in that too. So yeah, so Monica, give me a jingle and we will get that out to you. I have a couple of new purchases. I'm going to try and do this without knocking everything over. like my coffee cup, which I think I need another sip. So hang on a second. There is a gal that comes into Knit Night who is newer to my area, and she used to live in Portland, and she has an Etsy shop, and she sells project bags and stuff, and she had brought a bag in, and I said, okay, when you make more of those, I need one. So she did, and I bought one. Get that. Isn't that awesome? Once upon a time, I was so excited about this project. I feel like I could fit every project in here. So it's a drawstring bag. It's got this one's the one I picked had clouds in it and stuff, and she had another one that had unicorns in it and stuff. So her Etsy shop is Jane makes. Let me go find her card. I'll put it down here because I don't want to get up and get her card, but it's real cute. And I think she said she had a couple more of these. That was as of Knit Night on Tuesday. So hopefully she still does, but I thought that was pretty appropriate. So that's one of my new bags. Another new bag I got is from Tracy. I have her card, Thimble and Thread Make. I've talked about Tracy before because I've watched her podcast for a long time, and she started doing these cube bags. She calls them cube bags. So they're a square. Let me show the bottom. That's easier. So they're a big square. They're a canvasy kind of fabric, and so it's good for putting your pins on. But she has a way to get in between the lining, and so none of my pin backs are exposed to my knitting. So I can just get in there, put my pin on, and then it's secure, and it's not going to get messed up in my knitting. And it's a pretty good size bag. Like, this is a sweater size bag. She's got some drawstrings in the middle. I haven't used it yet because I wanted to show you guys. So it's a nice, it wouldn't be that scrunched up if you had a project in it. So I've been collecting my pins off of my other bags. I still have to find my Naughty Knitwits pin. It's on a bag somewhere, and add to them. I did get Fat Squirrel Speaks pin and Christy Glass pin. That's my Dominatrix. And then some buttons that I've collected. So that's pretty cool. I think Tracy's gonna has more of those in her shop, or is going to. She's continually making them because they've been pretty popular. And I'll put the link to her shop and to Jane's shop in the description box below. So we're doing the Rose City Yarn Crawl, and Wednesday we got our final clue. So I just barely got started on it. I'm finding that this last clue isn't something that I can sit and watch the Olympics and do, because I have to really pay attention. And if I look up because something's happening, I kind of lose track of where I am. So far, I just got started. But the last time I talked with you, and I'm going to try and untangle this without getting myself all messed up. Okay, here we go. So last time I showed you, I was where my glass slipper is, right there. And so here was clue 2. You can kind of see that. I messed it up because I always have to have something in there that messes up, and I'm okay with it. But right here, this blue stripe, that's not supposed to be garter. That's supposed to be stockinette. But mine's garter, so mine's different than everybody else's. So that was clue 2, and then this was clue 3 to go into this lace section, which was nice. I was really glad it was when I was done with it, though, because I was just done with the lace. So this is just starting clue 4. So we did some garter, and then I'm just starting to do some sort of a lace design. I'm not really sure how it's going to look because, like I said, I started to do it, and I've been watching the Olympics, and it's too hard for me to stop in the middle because it's a several stitch repeat, and if I don't stop at the right place, I get all messed up. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups earlier today, and so I had to wait to record because I had the hiccups. So I'm hoping they don't come back. So anyway, I love working on this. I'm really glad that I started it. It was one of those things where it was like, do I do it? Do I need another shawl? I don't know. Glad I did it. And this doesn't look good with my sweater, but it's going to look good. I like it. I think I'll wear it. I'm realizing that I'm not so much a big project person like a sweater. I'm still working on my DK weight sweater. It was an Alicia Plummer pattern, Staring at Stars, I think it was. And I picked it up to work on the sleeves again. Now I know I'm at the sleeves and it's like, but I got to do it if I'm going to finish it. And I've gotten that far, so I might as well go for it. But it's like I'm tired of working on it. I love the yarn. I love the patterns going well. I don't know if it's going to fit, but we're hoping it does. It hasn't been cold enough for me to wear it, although they're saying we might get snow on Monday. So fingers crossed I get a little snow. Just saying. So anyway, back to the shawl. Loving my shawl. I can't wait to see what that turns out to be. I think we do more of the color. Not, there's both colored, but this orangey yarn, my color B, I think we do a lot more of that. So pretty cool. So I've been working on that because that's been really fun. And then I started a new project because I'm not even going to try and justify it just because I wanted to. So, let me pull that out. Oh, I should show my bag. This is one of my bags from Awesome Granny. It's got the little polar bears in there, if you see them in the flowers. That's what my shawl's in, because it matches. And then I like this. I use this bag a lot, too, from my friend Lucy. Anyway, I got the pattern. It's a new mitten pattern called Counterbalance by Stephanie Lotvin. She is Telly Bean Knits. Oh, I don't think I'm giving anything away. I don't think so. Anyway, they've got this really cool, got this really cool cable design on it. And I wanted to try and do cables. And I wanted to use my yarn. So I am. So let me show you the first one I did. So I did I took a measurement of my hand, and you measure across your knuckles, and it says you should have about 1 inch of negative ease. And it was, the measurements came out on the pattern was either I'd have 1/4 of an inch of negative ease or 1 1/4 inches. And I thought, well, 1/4 of an inch probably isn't enough. Let me go to the medium, which has 1 1/4 inches, and they ended up being too tight. So I thought about ripping them out. Let me just put it on. I can put it on. It's just really snug, and so that I know I won't ever wear them. But you can kind of see. So this is on waist yarn for the thumb. Can you see the cable? It's really neat. It's a really fun cable design to do. So I started another one. So I went as far as binding off the top. All I need to do is pick up the thumb, and that one's done. And I thought, based on how much yardage it says that you need, I should be able to get 2 pairs of mittens out of it. So I'm going to make the large size for myself, and then making sure I have enough yarn for all that. I'm going to go ahead and finish the mate to that one, and I'll give it away. I was thinking of giving it away to my kickboxing instructor because she's always complaining how cold she is. And I thought, okay, then you need some gloves. So I'm still working on this. I can't turn my wrist. Okay, I'm just being really dumb about this right now. How about if I just do that? Okay, there you go. So there you can see the cable design. I'm going up until where I start to do some ribbing, and then the thumb. And it goes real quick. I started this last night and worked on this while I watched the Olympics last night. So just a couple hours. This is my Hello Gorgeous colorway. And I think that it shows the cable design really well because it's fairly solid. And I think a lighter color also shows designs like that much better. It's kind of like with quilting. The lighter your fabric and the more solid your fabric is, the better the quilting shows up. Because what you see are shadows. So the light plays against it and casts shadows, and so that helps you see the design. So I'm loving this, and I'm excited to have them done. Because I'm going to be needing these, I think, later in the year, and I'll talk about that when I go into the personal stuff at the end. So yeah. So then the thumb has a cable design that goes up into the thumb, and I'm just doing these as fingerless. So these will be done tonight, and then I'll start the next one. So that's really fun. I highly recommend the pattern. It's Counterbalance by Stephanie Lotvin. Okay, I don't think that gives anything away. And there it is. Being a goob. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I have worked some on the boys' blanket. So I was crocheting their blanket for them. Crocheting the blanket for them for their house. And so it's, you know, it's just more of the same. Now it's getting to the point where, you know, I'll like crochet along and then I go to flip it and it's getting bigger that you're like, flip this whole blanket, go across. So it's making it a little bit more challenging, and it gets really warm on my lap because it's a real thick blanket. So now it's getting long enough that it's actually on my lap when I'm working on it. And then that gets to be kind of hot. So I need to get it finished because they're moving at the end of the month, first part of March, end of the month. They're moving. They bought a house and they're going to move. So I really want to get that done and give it to them as a like housewarming, welcome to your new house kind of thing. I don't know if I'm going to actually finish it before they move, just because I'm loving working on the other couple of projects that I'm really working on. And so this right now feels like it's kind of a chore. And so I'm not gravitating towards it. It's okay. And I found that I loosened my gauge a little bit more and it's a little easier on my hands. But, you know, it's getting kind of boring. But I need to finish it because I've gone a long ways and I have all the yarn and I think they'd really like it and it would look really neat in their new house. So, you know. So that's all I have. I don't have anything finished. I'm still working on my pair of socks that I've been working on for weeks and weeks. And so I'm not going to have that to show you. Still every once in a while picking up that sweater. So it'll get done at least by next fall. I don't think I'm going to need it now. So I do have a couple new colorways that are going into the shop. A couple that are already in the shop that I want to show. And then I'll talk about what's upcoming with me. So what I have new is I have Cinder, which is just a really nice dark gray. It's a tonal gray. I have Romantic, which has got coral and little splashes of green. To go with that, my little tail sticking out. I hate when that happens. Okay, I've got Flamingo, which is a beautiful coral color. Looks really good with that. That looks really good. This is one of those colors that goes with anything. I mean, really just about anything. So another new one I have is, what was I calling this? Oh, Granny Smith, because it's like a bright green. If you're bold, it goes with that. This goes with a lot of other colors too. And I think, boom, I think that would make a beautiful 2-color shawl. So this actually goes with quite a few other things that are in the shop. So Cinder and Romantic are already in the shop. I've got to just get some pictures and get these listed, which will go up hopefully later today. So those are the new things. I have minis of these 3 colors. So there's minis. So if you wanted to do like this with a mini of the Flamingo, I've got that. If you wanted to be fun and do mini of Granny Smith, you could do that. You know, a Cinder mini of that goes with just about anything. So there are a few minis that are on the sparkly base and a few that are just on the sturdy sock. So that's what's new. Restocked some other colors that I've already shown you and stuff like that. So that's all of the creative, crafty stuff that I've been doing. But I wanted to share with you. So Robert and Michael are going to be moving into their brand new house. Brand new, still being built, almost done. So excited for them. So proud of them for being able to do that. Luckily, they stayed in my same little town. Because right now, they live about a half a mile from me. And now they're going to be 1.5 miles. So still stayed over here, which makes me happy. Because then I have a better chance of seeing them. because Robert's not the type that if he ever called me for anything, I would know something's wrong. So he's not the type to just go, hey, Mom, what's going on? So we try and have them come over and have dinner like every couple weeks and just kind of hang out and play games or watch a movie or something like that. And that's about all he needs. It's like once every 2 weeks. So I would like to see him more, but that's how he is. And that's fine. So if we lived further apart, I would probably never see him. And then Jim and I, for our anniversary this fall, it'll be 35 years this fall, and we try and do something kind of bigger every 5, because we usually just go camping, and because we like to do that, and it's probably the least expensive vacation you can do. But this is a 5 because 35, and so we're gonna go to Alaska. We're going to do like a 10 or 11 day trip up to Alaska. We went on an Alaskan cruise on our 25th anniversary, and neither of us liked it a whole lot. We aren't cruise people. I had never been on one before. Jim had when he was younger and had a great time with his family and had always wanted to go back and go on a cruise. And so we went on an Alaskan cruise. And it just wasn't for me. To me, it was like I was stuck in a hotel room for days upon days, and we'd get off at different ports. And there's just so much to see. To only have like a half a day or maybe a day to see stuff just isn't enough. And then you'd get back on the boat. It just wasn't for me. So we had said at that time, like someday we're going to have to come back because we just got the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much to see in Alaska. So that's what we decided to do for this anniversary. And I've got all my reservations. We did our own thing. We didn't go through travel agency or anything like that. I rented a bunch of Airbnbs throughout the area around Anchorage. We're going to go see Denali National Park for a couple days. It happens to be Alaska's state fair at that time, so we're going to go to the state fair and go see some glaciers and just go see what we can see and take some hikes and all that kind of stuff. So that's one reason why I was drawn to those fingerless mitts, because I thought, I think I'm going to need those. Although we're going like the end of August, first part of September, it's probably still going to be pretty warm. But in the evenings get cold, and if I'm out on a boat or something, I might need them. I'm hoping it's not too warm. That's one reason, too, why we picked Alaska. I don't want to go anywhere warm. To me, to go somewhere like lay on a beach or something is just like, no. It's not for me. The thing that I do like about going to the warmer weather is I love to snorkel. And so if I could go and snorkel and just be in the water and just, swim all day in the ocean, I would do that. But we went somewhere where it's not going to be super warm. So on our 40th, we might go, maybe we'll go to Hawaii or something. I don't know. So anyway, we're going to be going to Alaska, and I'm really, really excited. We're going to fly on a plane and the whole thing. It's not just a camping trip this year. So that's really exciting to look forward to. And another thing that I have coming up that I'm going to do is in my kickboxing class, my instructor asked if I would cover for her when she's going to be gone on vacation, meaning I would lead the classes. And I'm like, I've never done that before, and I don't feel like I know what I'm doing enough. I mean, I just follow along. And she said she picked me because she says, you've picked it up really well, and you're not quiet. Like, seriously? Come to find out, I'm really not that loud. And the thing that's hard is I'm a firm believer in trying things outside of your comfort zone. At least try it, because you never know. And had I not done that 2 years ago when I set up my camera and just started talking to the camera, I would have never had this podcast, which has led to some great friendships and some, just some neat things. So I'm a firm believer in going out of your comfort zone and trying things. And so I thought about it overnight, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. Because if I don't do it, there wasn't anybody else that could do it. And then we wouldn't have class that week. And I thought, well, at least we still get class and we still get out and we can exercise and all that. It's not going to be my new career or anything, but I'm nervous about it. And I've been doing a little bit in class. She'll say, okay, you lead this part or whatever. And the gals at the class are super supportive, and I know it's going to be fine, but it is really outside of my comfort zone because I don't like to be the center of attention. I don't like it when people are like looking at me for something, which may seem weird because I do a podcast, but it's just me talking to myself, talking to a camera. I talk to myself all the time anyway, and so it doesn't feel like it's that much different. I'm not doing it face to face, but to like get up in front of a crowd to do something, I get all choked up. So it's going okay. I've tried a couple parts of it, and I think it's okay. But like I said, she doesn't have to worry about me taking over because it's just until she gets back. So that's going to be coming up here pretty soon, and I'm anxious for it to be over, and I'll let you know how that goes. But meanwhile, keep on crafting, and I hope that you are enjoying the crafts that you are doing, and I will come back and talk to you again in a couple weeks. Thanks for being here.